races every weekend of some sort in the summertime.
3 races a weekend, so you're hearing that. And I just did a quick little when I was doing the research for this interview, I just saw there's so many interesting ones even coming up in the winter. Like a lot of people are we seeing a lot more people start running in the winter? First off, have you seen that change? Is that a change because of maybe equipment's improved a lot more since '99, or
I think we're a little bit spoiled in Ottawa with the canal because the NCC maintained the canal path. So we have, like, I guide run a couple of Paralympic friends, and I'll guide them year round in the winter, like in the wintertime too, in the dark here, because I know we have that lit, good surface, right? And the NCC takes a beating sometimes for maybe not maintaining things perfectly. But you can use that canal path both sides from Parliament Hill basically all the way down to Carleton and back in the wintertime, and you have pretty good footing. Yeah. So we have that luxury. I have friends that put 10,000 K a year on their bikes. They bike year round to work. Yeah. Right? And to stay fit and active. I know people that skate to work literally from the glebe. They skate downtown, then they take their skates off, they go to work, they skate home.
Go to school. That's
skate
my
to school.
Parents got to Carleton,
So I think we're kind of blessed with the infrastructure, with having the canal, with having the I think there's 190K of paved bike paths in the region, and because of things like race weekend and the Keskanata Loppet and the Army Run and Terry Fox and Run for the Cure and the Winterlude and the Winterman, all the activities, everything is promoting moving. So I think we're kind of in that situation now where when I moved here, it wasn't quite. People weren't quite ready for the race weekend. They were protesting, people lining the streets because they didn't want the roads closed.
Oh, really?
The market didn't really seem to have an appetite for having, the race go through there because it was going to interfere with customers. Now they look and they realize, hey, this brings in about $35 million a year in business. What can we do to get involved? And the best thing is now everybody knows somebody that did something on race weekend. It could be your mailman, it could be your doctor, it could be your landscaper, whatever, somebody at work, but somebody's coming into work or whatever on Monday with a medal. Yeah. And you look at them, and for the most part, you're like, wow, I didn't know you ran. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a marathoner. Yeah. You look at somebody, you see somebody 300 pounds come in the store now, you ask them what race they're doing. You don't ask them if they're active, because if you look at race weekend and Army Run, everybody does everything. So I think it's become very welcoming and accessible. So yeah, I think technology and information have been grown, but I think it's the community now that it's an incredibly active community, and people almost maybe feel that reverse pressure. The smokers now are getting the pressure to quit smoking. I think in Ottawa now you feel that pressure that, hey, I've got to do something active because everybody else I know does.
Yeah, and I like that. That's one of the reasons I hear. Just very quickly before we go for a break, layering is such a lot of people are worried about dressing for winter running. What I saw that you did a fashion show here last week, so that's very interesting. Now, and a lot of people, I know people I talk to, the prices are kind of high because it's more technology in the clothing, but these clothes are lasting for a number of years. I think you can buy something. Maybe one of those shirts or something. I have no idea the price. It's $100, $150, but you're going to get 3, 4, 5 seasons out of it.
Yeah, we were joking around the other night because I mean, some of my favorite running. You find favorite running gear, and I think there's more men than women. Although I could be wrong on that. I have a couple of pair of running pants I've had for 5-6 years. They're black, right? Yeah. So they go with everything. I wear those things every winter because I know what I need to layer them with a certain layer. The underneath stuff, you can have that 8 or 10 years as long as you take care of it, because it's synthetic. So it's color fast, it's breathable. As long as you use the right detergents to make sure the fabrics keep clear, you can have that base layer stuff as long as it keeps fitting. You can wear that stuff 10 years. The outer layers, as long as the reflective trim on them stays active. I know people that have had the same jacket for 8 or 10 years. As long as you wash everything carefully, the stuff's going to last. So yeah, there is an initial investment, but you also look at the things you have at home. So your cross-country ski stuff crosses over. Your base layer for running, you also can wear skating on the canal.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And shopping and going to the market, whatever, the long underwear. The old days we had the purple leaf of polypropylene. Now all that synthetic stuff will last, and you can wear it for all sorts of different activities. You can roll up your running jacket and put it in your golf bag. So that's where I think the crossover effect is now. People will invest in the good gear, and then they'll use it for everything 365 days a year. And I think that's a smart way to do it, is look at what you have, work around that and then add layers when you need them.
And you guys are very welcoming here when people come in.
For sure.
Of course, obviously. All right, we're going to thanks so much for that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to Jen from Foodie Prince. We're going to talk about 3 events coming up this weekend and one more song from Sounds of Stories. This is Dana. This will be off their new album, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's hard to believe that it's already the last weekend of November. I have my eye on a few fun events taking place, so let's get started. Now, starting today and running until Sunday, the Christmas market is back at the Canadian Museum of History, so that's the Old Civilization Museum. And with more than 75 exhibitors from across the Ottawa-Gatineau region, you'll find everything from beauty products to clothing and accessories, household items, jewelry, woodwork, wines and ciders, and of course, lots of gourmet foods. It's taking place in the Grand Hall. Now, admission and code check are both free, and an automated teller is on site. For operating hours, parking details, and a full list of vendors, you can visit historymuseum.ca. The Christmas market is listed under the events page. Now, the Ottawa Farmers Market, they're also gearing up for the holiday season, and their Christmas market is back at the Aberdeen Pavilion at Lansdowne Park, starting this weekend until the December 19th, 20th weekend. 100 vendors of locally grown and locally made food, arts and crafts, and guest vendors from other neighboring markets will be on hand. This could be a great place for you to find hosting gifts, stocking stuffers, and ingredients for those holiday dinners. A shuttle bus service will also be provided for those of you who want to come out from the Brewer Park or Carleton University area. So for more details and to find your favorite vendor, you can go to ottawafarmersmarket.ca. For me, sometimes it's amazing how time simply flies by. It feels like yesterday that the brewing company Beyond the Pale opened its doors in the Hintonburg neighborhood. Well, this Saturday from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., Beyond the Pale is celebrating their 3rd anniversary by throwing a huge bash. And to mark this milestone, leather is the theme. So show up at the party dressed wearing your best leather outfit and be creative. Beyond the Pale will have upwards of 20 of their own beers on tap, as well as beers from Bose, Bellwood, GLB, and Stone City. Food-wise, Holland's Cake and Shake, Smoke Shack, Supply and Demand, and Union 613 will be providing all the foods and sweets. Now, tickets are $45, and that price includes all the food and cake. Proceeds from the party will be going to support the Parkdale Food Center. Tickets are only available, though, for purchase through Eventbrite. I should also mention that the location of the party is at ZB, which is 6 Chaudière Crossing, which is also known as Albert Island. And for my last pick, it's a diner takeover at the King Eddie Burger Joint this Sunday in the Byward Market. The Takeover Diner series takes place once a month, with a portion of the evening's proceeds going to a local charity. This time around, Chef Rene Rodriguez from Navarra is in charge of the kitchen, and the charity of choice is, it's the Ottawa Snowsuit Fund. Tickets are $25, and they can be purchased at the restaurant, or you can call ahead to make reservations. It starts at 6 p.m. With a cocktail hour, followed by dinner at 7:10. From 10 o'clock until closing, the after party will be presented by Kitchissippi Beer. And that's all I have for you today. See you back here next week.
My boy, oh my little one, he may never see the day to have a woman in his arms, to have
right. Thank you so much. Sounds of Stories. And that song was Dana, and look for them all across Ottawa. They're going to be playing a lot of places. And Jen from Foodie Prince, thank you so much. So one of the main reasons I got Running Room on, and Phil, I see Phil at so many events, and he's won Order of Ottawa, or Community Builder Awards. And it's incredible if you look back at what the Running Room has brought to the city. It's how important they are to the city. So thank you so much for being here and continuing on in the path here. And one of the main things that you've started up is the National Health and Fitness Day. And how did that start, and how did that come about?
That was really exciting to be involved in the actual passing of the law. And I talk to friends who kind of sometimes feel powerless, and I understand it's, there was no money involved in the bill, etc. But it was one of the few bills that was actually passed unanimously on the House of Commons through all parties. I coached Stockwell Day when he was getting ready for Boston Marathon, when he was the Treasury Board president. And he and I, we used to go out for runs on Tuesday mornings at 6:30 in the morning, because it was the only time you could get out.
Okay.
And we just called them our little weekly meetings, because one of the great things about meetings is when you're in a desk, it becomes adversarial, or it doesn't have a flow of conversation. If you ever want to have a great productive meeting, get out for a walk or get out for a run with 2 or 3 people. You don't need notes, but you've got oxygen flowing to the brain. You're in a kind of a free environment. You're in a kind of a social environment. You'd be amazed at how the discussions go on those runs. Mm-hmm. And Stock and I used to have some wonderful discussions as he was getting ready for Boston Marathon and some of his travels. And one of the big things that we were talking about was how can we get Canadians more fit and active, because it's so frustrating. Keep seeing the numbers of with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, obesity, 100%. Kids in activity especially, and it's terrifying. And Stock was very much on that same page and kind of wondering, okay, well, how can I get my staff? How can I get the public sector more active? How can I get MPs more active? And so one of the big things that came out of that conversation was, and I said, well, how do we get facilities open? How do we get schools to stop padlocking at 5 o'clock at night because there's no supervision? And you hear the standard line, oh, well, it's a liability issue. Mm-hmm. And yet when we were kids, and I'm 52, so it was quite a different time then, but our parents sent us to the schoolyard, mm-hmm. right, until it was dark. Go play. We don't care what you do. Mm-hmm. We played kick the can. We played whatever, flags. We played, Red Rover. We played all, murder ball, whatever. So, but we went out and played. That was just what we did. Winter, summer, didn't matter. And we used.
You weren't stuck on your iPad back
then.
No,
we weren't allowed in the house. Yeah. I don't know what my parents were doing when we were outside playing, but we played. Yeah. So now you look, and kids are in front of their TV screens. They're in front of monitors. They're doing Xbox, and video games are cool because they can, they're fun. But the kids are not. You can see that they're human beings are devolving. Even the way we walk now. There's a study out a little while ago about how people are actually changing their posture and the way they actually walk for the first time in generations mm-hmm. of human locomotion, because they're all walking, looking at their screens. Yeah. So we had the kind of commonality there of what do we do here? And Stock said, I don't know how we change that. And the big focus was, well, let's find a way to get municipal, provincial, and federal facilities to open up for a day. For free for Canadians. Let's just have one day, and then we say Canadians go play. And in those facilities, so if it's a schoolyard, for example, then you have you don't need the school to organize anything. You need them to open it up, and then you have all these community groups. So the Bocce Ball Association, the salsa dancing group, the community whatever activity group. You have them use that facility for that day and exhibit their sport. Say, hey, if you ever wanted to play bocce ball, come out Saturday on National Health and Fitness Day. We're going to show you how to play bocce ball. Mm-hmm. And for new Canadians who are the highest number of Canadians that drown every year, because a lot of them come to Canada, they've never been exposed to a pool or a lake or whatever. Pierre Lafontaine, who ended up being a key partner with National Health and Fitness Day, he was our Olympic swim coach, and his idea was too opening up all the pools and saying, okay, we're going to have a swim lesson, or we're going to get kids into the pools that are new Canadians with a floaty belt to take away the fear of the water, right? And really focus on play and fun. So that's where it all started. And now we, John Weston, who just recently was